Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a great day. It's Corrine, and today we're going to be playing with embossing folders, 3D embossing folders in particular. What I created here, so 3D embossing folders and glossy or non-porous cardstock, okay? It needs to be non-porous, so it has to have that glossy finish in order to be able to create the technique of what we're looking at. So this is one of the examples that I had done. Yeah, this one. So that one with the green trees, and then this one are my personal favorite. So you get this really cool pop of color and then this beautiful, beautiful shine. These are on metallic. So metallics you want to watch, they give beautiful results, but you have to, when you're looking here, so there's just a tinge of blue in with the gold here. It's hard to see, but there is just a little bit of blue there. With the metallic ones in particular, you're going to want to watch because the ink that we're going to use can sit on top. So you got to watch with those. This one here shows it a little bit better. So I've got this beautiful gold, this kind of matte gold, and then you can see the blue that I used in the places on the from the embossing folder where it came through. And then we've got this cute one here with tinges of purple on the tops. So you get this great shine. And it's just another way to use your embossing folder. So that's what we're going to do today. So today I'm going to make two cards. So I've got some black glossy cardstock. You can see here, glossy, shiny, shiny. And I have some white glossy cardstock. So my black glossy cardstock is from Tonic Studios. Yeah, it's a 10-pack for like $5, I think is what you can get it for now. And then this white glossy I actually got from Simon Says Stamp, and it's also a 10-pack of paper. Okay. The two embossing folders that I'm going to use today are these ones here. This one I got from AliExpress, and I don't often recommend too many of the AliExpress embossing folders because I haven't had the best luck with them. But this one, I will say, is really nicely 3D. Most of the embossing folders that I get from them don't come in 3D, which is really a bummer. Even though they say they're 3D, they're not very 3D. And then this one is called Kaleidoscope, and it's from Simon Says Stamp. And it's got just this really cool, like almost starburst patterns. So those are what I'm going to be embossing today. I'll be using my Gemini Junior, so I'm going to do my embossing first because it's going to be a little noisy with that. So I want to get that out of the way. So I'm going to put my cardstock in, and you want to put it in so you want to feel around. You will obviously have points that will emboss, which is where it brings the paper, pushes the paper pattern up towards you, or you'll have debossing, which is where something pushes the pattern of the paper away from you. So what we want to do is we want to emboss. Okay, so I can feel these and I know that these things are pushing up. So I want to put my paper in. I'm going to center it here. Hold it at the end here so I can pinch my finger a little bit. Now this is going to be just a little loud because I am going to be using my electronic die cutting machine here, so you might hear this. So I do apologize. Just a second here. So, and this particular technique is really great. I didn't spritz my paper or anything because I actually do want it to crack. I want some of that white coming through. So I don't need to spritz it or anything like that. So you can see I got a great emboss on this. This is the back side. This is the front. Okay. So I'm just going to put that to the side and I'm going to do my, I'm going to do the white one next. Okay, so just checking. Okay, these trees are pushing up, so that's what I want. I want this, I want the trees pushed up on this particular piece. So, good. So you may need to play around to figure out what sandwich works best on your particular machine. For whatever you have at home, for whatever your die cutting machine is. You'll have to play around with it. And look at the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous emboss that gave. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So right now, this is just flat white. Okay. So I want to change that up a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play with the black one first. Okay, so what I'm going to need is we're going to need dye-based inks. You don't want to be using pigment-based inks because they sit on top of your cardstock, right? They don't absorb, and especially because this is glossy or coated cardstock. So we want to make sure that we're going to use a dye-based ink. And then you'll need a sanding, I'm using this is a nail buffer, like a sanding sponge. So I got a pack of 20 for like $5 from Amazon. I get them from the dollar store. Sand and buff my nails. You can also get like sanding blocks or things like that. There's also craft ones that are out. So you just need a sanding block. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start to sand my paper. And I'm keeping it. Oh, also Tim Holtz has new ones out that that are sanding discs that will fit on the top of your ink blenders here. So it's just a flat sanding disc and you can go along and just sand off the top of your just the top coating here. So, and because this is nice flat surface, I'm just catching the tops of where I emboss, not anything else. So it's still going to be nice and shiny down in the valley, but I'm highlighting and bringing out the white on my paper here. So whatever paper you're using has a glossy or coated cardstock. You want to make sure that it has white as the backing. Okay, so now I've sanded that down. Now I'm just going to take my little cloth here. I'm going to give it a little wipe. I'm going to take all the fibers off of the, what do you call it there? That was a lot of, I don't even know what to call it. The sanding goop, whatever. Okay, so here's my card. Now, because I like a good rainbow, that's what I'm going to do on this. You can use whatever colors you like. You could do bright yellow on the black and do like a really cool bumblebee card or something like that, like a beehive or something. You could do oranges and reds. You could do like a sunset kind of thing. That'd be really beautiful. I am going to do a rainbow. And in order to do this rainbow, I'm actually just going to use 3 colors today. So I'm going to use, these are my Elements by Lavinia Stamps. They are dye-based ink, which means they're water-based. Okay, so, and the colors that I'm going to be using are Blue Lagoon, Sundance, and Confetti. So confetti is kind of a reddish pink. We've got a nice bright yellow and then a nice bright blue. Okay, so and to get this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pad and I'm just going to go direct to my paper here. There we go. Put that aside here. And I'll go and stick my fingers in that. I am going to wipe up the yellow on the side here. Okay, and then so I don't contaminate. So this is again why we're using the dye-based ink, because it's going to saturate and sink into our cardstock. Okay. So I can go in and I can buff off all of the ink that is sitting on top of the glossy cardstock, which is what I want, right? I don't want that to sit on there. I need to take that off because whoever my recipient would be getting a ton of ink on them. Okay, so now in order to create the rainbow, I'm just going to take my confetti color and I'm going to start at the top here and I'm going to go in a little bit, and that will give me the reddish pink color as well as some orange. I'm going to wipe up that red. So the nice thing about these Lavinia paper or inks is that they are super juicy. So you get phenomenal saturation. So I'm not sure how much of that you can see. So I've got kind of this pinky red color. Now it's transitioning into the orange and now into the yellow. So now what I'm going to do is take my blue and I'm going to create green and blue, obviously. And then I might even, if I'm feeling lucky, I might even go in and do some purple. Yes, nice color. Okay, to the side here. And clean up my blue. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous transition of green to blue here, and I'm just going to go in with my red and just touch it on top of the very edge here, and that's going to give me a purpley color. Okay. Now I'm going to put this on some white. I'm hoping that that will help you see it a little bit better. So I've got the pink transitioning into the orange, to the yellow, to the green, to the blue, to the purple. And I'm really happy with how that looks. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down, and I'm actually putting it on a, I believe this is 5 by 6.5. So that's what I'm going to do. My panel here is a 4.25 by 5.5. I'm not going to trim it down, and I don't believe I'm going to mat it because I actually just like that extra white space. So that's what I'm going to do with that. Tape runner. Oh yeah. See, in here you can see where my ink has actually started to come through in a couple of places because this is pigment ink. So it does absorb into your paper. Sorry, this is dye-based ink. It absorbs into the paper. If I was using pigment ink, it would just sit on top and would never go into any of the white spaces, which I kind of needed too. All right. Let's make sure I've got this going the right way. I do. All right. I'm going to do this at about, give it a really nice even border. Okay. That looks pretty good like that. So I think in a previous video, I told you guys that I'm kind of short on birthday cards. So I'm actually going to make this a birthday card. And I've put a few sentiments aside here. Let's see here. So I have this beautiful sentiment strip. It says, "You look younger than ever. Happy birthday," which is great. And then I've got a few other happy birthdays. So I've got this great big happy birthday that has the shadow on it, which kind of looks really nice. And then I could even kind of pop this up right here. That would be okay. I've got today. I heard today is your birthday. We could do that in the center. You look younger than ever. Happy birthday. That's kind of nice too. Or I have, come on, this is sticky, stuck to my hand here, stuck to my hand. Or I have a really simple handwritten, well, not handwritten, it's just stamped in heat embossed. So I did these earlier. So I stamped it with a black pigment ink and then clear heat embossed. And yeah, and then I could do this like that. You know what? I think I like I heard today is your birthday. So I'm going to stick that one on there. But I do want to add a little bit of dimension behind it. So I am going to pull out my dimensional tape. And get this out. Oh, this dimensional tape will be about perfect. Good. Okay. Oh, too far over. Shazbut. Okay, so I'm gonna have to trim that a little bit. I was kind of hoping I could get better, but obviously I did not. So because I'm using dimensional tape, I want to make sure that I'm going to get it all over the back. When I go to send this through the mail, I want to make sure that it's going to hold up well. If I had any concerns, I could actually just use cardstock. That would be another good idea to put behind it. I could have cut this out multiple times because this is a die. So I could have done that, but obviously I didn't. I was feeling a little lazy there. So I'm going to move these off to the side because I need my choice on my sentiment. Release papers. Some days you just have to have nails. Okay, so I'm going to center this. I heard today is your birthday. I kind of want that to be centered. So, and somewhat straight. That's good enough for me. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to straight, but I have this really wonderful thin foam tape. You get that 3-pack from the dollar store. And it comes with one of these really thin ones, and it's just perfect for this sentiment strip here. Ooh, using my other scissors, not this one. Oops. Okay, so let's peel this up now. And come in here. There we go. Push that down. Now let's get some bling edge, right? And for bling, I'm going to use some more of my colorful pearls. I don't have any bigger ones in here anymore. I've got a few. Okay, so I'm going to need my tweezers and my pick tool. Where are my tweezers? Tweezers. Here we go. If I don't hurry this up, this is not going to be the short video I was hoping for. Last couple of videos have been quite long. Actually, I don't have to do a rainbow. Maybe what I'll do, I've got these ginormous hearts. They're really cute. I could pull like this yellow out. I don't know if I want to do too many of these because they're quite big, right? Like, see how big that green is? Oh, actually, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do one of each color then. The yellow, and a red. It's more of a pink, so I don't see there a red. All right, let's try a blue. And I need one more. Oh, and there's an orange. All right, here we go. So I've got the colors of my rainbow. So I'm going to take the blue, and that's going to go down yonder here. So the green can come right about there. Yellow, red, the orange, and maybe the red. Oh yeah, that's quite cute, just like that. Okay, so let's get the jewel over here and some liquid adhesive. Okay. So I'm going to put quite a bit of adhesive in here because I want to make sure that these hearts are actually going to be touching the adhesive. Just because there's so many divots and everything because of the embossing folder, right? Did such a great job that I want to make sure that at least a portion of this heart is touching some of the adhesive. Otherwise, these ginormous hearts are going to just fall off. And now this will dry clear, so I'm not too concerned about any of the adhesive squidging out. Blue. There we go. Quite happy with how that looks. That's going to be a great, fun, and festive birthday card. Okay, so I'm going to put this to the side to let the adhesive for the parts dry. Put that to the side. And now I will show you what we're going to do with the white one. Because handling the white one is a little bit different. You could just use your Same technique. You could just wipe over it and things like that. But I actually want to make this look like a scene. So in order to do that, what I still need to do first is I'm going to go in with my sanding block, and I'm going to hit the tops of the trees. Anything that is standing up, I want to make sure that I'm starting to remove some of the glossiness. It's going to remove some of the plastic off of the part that has been embossed, right? The part that's pushed up. Okay. And you can start to feel when it's starting to remove the coating. And depending on how much of the coating you have removed will tell you how much of your ink is actually going to be absorbed into your paper. If you don't take up enough of the coating, your paper will not, it'll just resist any of the ink that you're putting on. And so you can see here, I'm just following the line of some of the birch trees with just the edge of my sander block here. Okay. All right. Okay, and I'm finding a space here to wipe off my card, my card panel that I didn't have ink on, because obviously I don't want to have that transferring already. Okay, so now for this part, what I want to do is I'm going to use blender brushes. Rather than taking my ink directly to my paper, I'm going to be using blender brushes. The colors that I'm going to be using for this are going to be olive, still the dye-based inks from Lavinia, so the elements. So I'm going to be using pine and olive, and then blue atoll, or atoll, and possibly some blue lagoon, possibly. But I'm going to start with the blue atoll first, okay? But first, I'm going to start with my pine. So I've got my blender brush here, dip it, but I'm going to take off quite a bit. And I'm going to come in from the bottom. Dipping and taking off. And you can start to see where your blender brush is catching the edges that have been sanded down. From there. Okay, so that is the pine. I'm just going to give that a brief wipe down. And this is just a regular microfiber cloth. So I'll bring that up so you guys can see here. Okay, so it has caught the edges, and that is not being removed now. Some of the green that I did manage to get onto my glossy white, that wiped off. There's a few spaces here, but that's also where I may have hit it with my sanding tool. But that's okay, because I do want it to have that light wash. So now I'm just going to go in with the olive and just a little bit here, but I do want to just darken it up in a couple of areas, just so that I have a little bit of shadow and highlight as well, right? So you can see where that tree got a little dark. That's okay, I don't mind that. So, oops. Yeah, and I'm going to buff that off. Okay, now the blue into the sky area. Dab a lot off. Just in here. Okay. Buff that a little bit as well. Look at that. So now we've created a little scene off of what was white, like white, 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 white. I'm going to add just a little bit of a brighter blue at the top here. Go. Now, if you have, now I don't have any, otherwise I would definitely have demoed it, but because I don't do flowers very often, but Altenew is one of the companies that I do recommend 3D embossing folders for. They have gorgeous, absolutely stunning, stunning, stunning flowers. And if you wanted to, what you could do, like if a friend of mine has a peony and she has the rose, when you put that in there, you can shadow just the same way. If you were to use white cardstock, you would use the over the rose or something like that. You could use a red or a pink or a dusty peach or something like that. And then over the leaves and things like that, you would do a beautiful green and things like that. And then you would have that shade and that tone to your 3D embossed image. How gorgeous is that? That's just beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Okay, so now we're going to stick that onto our card front. This is, so again, this card front part here is 4¼ by 5½, and it's going to go onto a standard A2 size. Actually, it looks like I cut this a little short, so I'm going to guess that this is 4 by 5¼ and my card panel size is 4¼ by 5½. Okay, so card front was 4 by 5¼ All right, so that is absolutely lovely. And I have, I wanted to make a nice little sympathy card, actually. So, and I thought this would be a really lovely front. It's nice and simple. So I've got 2 sentiments here. Both of them say thinking of you. This one is the reversed foil image, but I kind of like how this looks. I think it's nice. It's simple. Use that, I think. And I'm going to put that down with just some liquid adhesive. I don't want to add too much more dimension. So because this is going on glossy cardstock, I want to make sure that I have enough adhesive on here that it's going to catch onto something. I'm going to put that kind of in the center of my, see, get my head up over. Sorry if I'm blocking. There we go. Okay, I want that to be somewhat centered. Push that down. And as my little bit of bling, because although, you know, it is a sympathy card, we do still want to have a little bit of shine, not a ton, but a little bit. So I'm going to use these gorgeous flat-backed white pearls. So these will look like a little bit more snow or whatever. They come in a bunch of different sizes. 1, 2, maybe a small one. No, just, yes, I did give small one. Okay, so I'm happy with that one. Another size there, a bit bigger. And another one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, teeny, 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 tiny. Okay. Oh, you might be able to hear my neighbor's dogs. It cracked me up. This little thing, and they're out there. There we go. That's the size I'm looking for right there. So I'm gonna put this one back. There, maybe not. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take these, let's put them onto my card. There we go. And adhesive, push down. And there we go. Okay. All right. Well, that is our technique for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about this, and I hope that you give it a try. We've got two beautiful cards, simple, simple technique, but the results are really quite beautiful. And people will be like, "How did you do that?" But this is what we've got today. Anyway, have a great day, and we will talk to you soon. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, please leave them down in the comments section. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you at the next class. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye.